Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another edition of Zoom In on the Halal Metropolis. And here with me today, we have Mohammad Mattar. He is a quality engineer at Ford Motor Company and one of the founding members of the Association of Muslim Professionals Detroit, also known as AMP Detroit. Welcome, Mohammad.
Hey, thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Yeah, I just wanted to check in with you, see how you're doing, and I wanted to ask you about your work and kind of how things are going at Ford and how the automotive industry you see is kind of adjusting to it. We have a lot of people from our community that work in the automotive industry,
Yeah.
and then also AMP. I know that you guys are probably planning on having a big year. Before we get into all that, how are you doing? How are you personally holding up?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. It's been good. It's definitely something I feel like we're going to be telling future generations about. It's how unexpected this was and how much it changed everybody's lives so quickly. It's impacted like everybody around the world, right? So yeah, alhamdulillah. I think things are going better than I expected.
Yeah. And you've been able to make adjustments where you're able to work from home?
Yeah. Fortunately, the work that I do can be done from home. Like I feel like it's definitely something that I'm very lucky about. So a lot of what I do is dealing with data and stuff. So yeah, easily done from home in my case.
I think a lot of people are wondering how, this is affecting different industries, and you work in the automotive industry. And, I, in a past life, was an engineer, and I worked in the automotive industry as well. And I still have a lot of good friends and relatives that are in the industry. And, just kind of wondering, how is the automotive industry being affected by what's going on?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know it's a big question. Yeah.
It is, yeah. But generally, I feel like the impact has been really hard, but it also depends on what part of the automotive industry you're in. Like a lot of my friends who work for the suppliers that supply parts for the major OEMs like GM, Ford, and Chrysler. I feel like they've been hit harder than we have. The bigger companies tend to have a bigger kind of like buffer of cash to kind of keep things going. But I think it's kind of the reality is kind of set in on a lot of the companies. The major thing that all the companies want to do right now is just get production started again, because that's how the money comes in, right? Once the money comes in, that's when things can start returning to normal. So yeah, there's a lot of efforts on those fronts to do that, and I feel like we're fortunate as like engineers who work on stuff that can be done from home. Like they're going to keep us at home probably longer than other places, just to kind of maintain as much social distancing as possible. But yeah, the impact's pretty severe. But hopefully, everybody's looking at it from a hopefully temporary kind of standpoint, right? Like once we get things back up and running, we can hopefully get back on our feet. But, yeah.
Yeah, and I know some of the companies are adjusting their production to start manufacturing ventilators and other supplies that are needed as well. So we're seeing some of that happening too. Switching gears a little bit, I know that AMP, it's a new organization. You guys are doing some pretty incredible work, connecting Muslim professionals in the area. What were the big plans for this year for the organization?
Yeah, this year we had some really ambitious plans. We wanted to really take the group into more of the public sphere. Last year we launched our website, and we had a big event where we kind of had a panel of speakers, and it was kind of a big kickoff event for the website. This year we wanted to take it one step further, go get a nonprofit status, and then start growing our membership even more. Kind of have a networking database for people to find each other and all of that. So, we had really ambitious plans, and luckily we still have them. Like they're actually, things are going really well, alhamdulillah. I don't know, I think it's more because we just onboarded a lot of really amazing board members, so they're pushing things really, really well. But, alhamdulillah, things are going, we're just meeting virtually and getting things done.
And my apologies. I should have asked tell us a little bit about the organization and what it does.
Sure, yeah, no,
I did it in doing it in reverse order.
Yeah, so the Association of Muslim Professionals Detroit just started with the idea that when you kind of look at the Muslim community as a whole, we have different support networks for different kind of, when you kind of look at like age ranges of the community. So you look at like Islamic schools for like the younger, kids, and then you got youth groups for youth. In college, we have MSAs. And then we've got the mosques that kind of try to serve for the general community, but their focus tends to be more on like families and like, kind of later on in life. For the people that are in between, that kind of early career, like developmental mindset kind of people, there isn't really a community that brings them together, connects them to both the religion as well as professional growth. So AMP Detroit is an initiative we started to fill that gap. The focus is on connecting professionals, and also specifically like catering to the early career professionals that still really need to build that network. They want to do things together. They want to go volunteer together. They want to learn about the core topics that are going to be the foundation of their religion. They're going to want to network with each other. And so those are kind of like the main things that we focus on, right? So yeah, that's a little bit about the group real quick.
And then are you guys able to do programming virtually? Some of your panels that you had planned or anything like that, are you able to convert them to online?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I feel like that's the nice thing about having a group of, or kind of early career professionals is, we're pretty nimble in terms of like online activity. So it's pretty easy for us to switch it to being online. It's also come with its challenges. Like one of our major events has been every month we have a dinner, right? Our monthly dinner has been our most consistent and way of networking people. And that has had to switch to virtual, but it's also turned out to be a blessing in disguise because we're kind of starting a podcast now because people were really interested in one of the ones that we just did.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what, let's record this and make it a podcast. So it's fun a lot, like these challenging times, they come with a lot of hardship, but there's also ease with them, and there's also opportunities for growth. So just kind of adapt with it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm really happy to hear all this, and please let us know when the podcast goes live. I'd love to hear it. And we're doing a lot of the same things, and this is part of that, is doing these interviews, and we're having to adjust really quickly as well. So I'm glad to see other organizations making similar adjustments, because it's like, I think it's created so much disillusionment and confusion and frustration. It's very easy to just sort of get stuck in that and feel like you're kind of like, you don't know what to do, and so it's nice to see, people pivoting and shifting to innovative ideas to make sure that things are moving forward. Because these organizations, and I think your organization is also, it's really important. It's serving a key need in our community. And so I'm really happy to see that things are moving forward. So. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Keep up the great work. And hopefully we'll get to meet in real life soon at one of these upcoming AMP dinners when things get back online. So inshallah, yeah. Really good to see you, Mohammad.
Yeah, great to see you too,
Yeah.
Razi.
Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. Bye.